Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, how's it going? We got Patrick and Pudgy up in here. Let's see, go back to the list. Patrick, traveling through. Rick, Jay Dandy. Hey, how's it going? Who did I miss? Oh, Broadford. Yeah, traveling through Broadford. Farley. Hey, how's it going? Let me adjust this so I'm not looking down so far. Yeah, so new intro video. I just shot that an hour ago. Went out, got about a 17-mile ride in, just wanted to get out for a little bit. It stormed here all day, and then it kind of cleared off towards late afternoon, early evening. So around 6, I'm like, oh, perfect time. Sun looked pretty. Went out and got a little bit of a ride in, and then shot that video to get that summery vibe, even though it's already after the 4th of July. It took me that long, but finally got it done. Also made a new members video that's more summary, and a new outro video. So yeah, made both those yesterday. I made the videos today, but I shot those yesterday riding with Large Marge and Funny Brad and a couple other friends. Otis from Dirty River. Hey, what's up, Dimitri and Dylan Blackball? Hey. Patrick said the end of the new intro is cool, kind of Mr. Rogers as a hip cyclist. Yeah, I like the idea of. I thought of that a long time ago, and I knew when I remade the intro video, I wanted to have me entering the studio like it's kind of happening live. Um, Today it works out great because I'm even in the same clothes. But traveling through said they got really wicked rain in the Northeast too. Yeah, yeah. It was. I was recording a video here, and it was thundering a lot, and I might have to do a little bit of work to the video to remove some of the thunder. I'm used to that because when a bus goes by the studio or a really loud car or motorcycle, I always have to do that. There's just not a good enough way to soundproof it. To I live on a busy street, so. Hi, what's up, obsolescence? Yeah, Mr. Rogers. Yeah, I should have like taken off my wind jacket and like hung it up and everything. Changed my shoes out. Didn't Mr. Rogers? I remember when I was a kid, I never understood that, but didn't he change from like dress shoes into like tennis shoes or something like that? It's been a long time, but I. Oh, that's what Farley just said. Only thing the new intro is missing is you changing your sweater and shoes to Mr. Rogers style. The outro video I left. So the outro video I didn't. I changed the background. I changed the song, but I still left the little kids in the beginning because I just love that. What's up, Keith? How's it going? Rick was saying that Premiere is way better than Final Cut for audio correction. Since I've never had a Mac, I've never used Final Cut. So sometimes I go to watch a tutorial or a YouTube channel I normally watch, and they do stuff in Final Cut, and those videos are completely irrelevant to me. But Premiere now really did. I think me and Dylan were chatting about this. I can't remember. I think so. Maybe even me and Dylan and his buddies about how they've kind of added all of the features, or a lot of the features from Adobe Audition that you would need into the audio panel in Premiere Pro. So yeah, it's pretty good now. It could do a lot of work in there really simply. So Pudgy said he changes one cardigan to another, talking about Mr. Rogers, to another, and then his shoes to sneakers. All right, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, Pudgy, I left the kids in there. I'm drinking a beer we got on our bike tour in Millersburg Brewing. Since they gave me an extra 4 pack, I ended up hauling a bunch back home. It actually tastes fine. I was worried that they kind of baked in the sun. I actually had it on my fork, my bike fork. I was wondering if it getting really hot in the sun would affect the flavor, but it doesn't seem like it did too much. So yeah, it's their Imperial IPA. What do they call it? Does it not have a name? Oh, Fog on it, hazy, double. Oh, Blackball said I changed the outgo. Yeah, I actually changed the outro song because I couldn't find where I had put it. And I could have, what I should have just done is followed the link that you obviously know the name. And I could have just followed the link that I have in this stream and put it back on there. But I just decided to mix everything up a little bit. But we could bring all, switch it back in the winter or, just keep stuff fresh, I guess, a little bit. Quinn says he's pretty wasted, but Sinelli is rad, Chinelli is rad. I've never had. I mean, Large Marge, who is a obviously regular on the channel, was actually here in person on Tuesday. Had a uh, one of their track bikes, a beautiful red one, but it was too big for him, and he ended up selling it just within the last few months, I believe. So Dan L said he rides his bike all around his town. And it's his only transportation. Yeah, you're in the right group then. Everyone is totally cool with that. Like I've said, I only keep a car because I have to haul uh, serious photography gear sometimes, and I would love to not have a car at all. They're a pain. Traveling through asked me on our. Is my audio peaking a little high? Sorry, let me adjust that. Traveling through said how many dogs chased us on our Ohio ride. We rode from Cincy to Akron. I don't think we ever got chased by a dog. There were a lot of dogs that barked, but I think it was a lot of electric fencing or what do you call it, invisible fencing, because there would be a dog coming, and I'm like, I hope that thing doesn't get out to the road. Even in farm country, like it seems like all the dogs stayed on their yards. We had no problem with that. So, hey, what's up, Malk? How's it going? Oh, speaking, yeah, get into some of everyone's photos, but Malk had a great one that I didn't get up on Tuesday. But start with the drink pics, I think. So wait, Keith was drinking a PBR and he said it went perfect with his Domino's pizza. Keep it all low budget. If I go for cheap beer, it's still always going to be PBR. Like if I'm at the store and I wanted cheap beer, that's what I would end up getting. Pudgy has an Orange Avenue Shandy ale with orange and honey from Coronado. West Coast Shandy. Huh. How is that? Is it too sweet or is it actually all right? And Patty was drinking some Woodford, which it looks like a nicer. That's not the regular bottle of Woodford, is it? Is that a special? Let's see. Proprietary batch. Let us know what that means. I'm not because I isn't that green label that's different. So is that a special version of Woodford? And Large had a flying monkey, fireworks and karate, and punch to your IPA. Oh, a margarita IPA. Huh. Interesting. Low alcohol though, so it's almost like a session, 4.5%. And Malk has, what is Sutton's Bay cider? All right, Sidra Lapeno, Lapeno, Sidra Lapeno. Is that a Spanish cider? Or the name is like, is it a Spanish style cider? Huh. I butcher English, so I'm gonna obviously as you guys know, butcher foreign languages as well. Traveling through said he got chased by 8 dogs in Ohio, so that's why you were asking. Yeah. Oh wait, God, this chat is moving fast tonight. Hang on. Oh, Dan said he's. Oh, nice, new subscriber. Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Oh, then we're asking about Pudgy's Bear Claw. I'll definitely pull up some photos of his new bike here in a minute, too. Catch up on the chat first, though. Yeah, so traveling through said he got chased by 8 dogs in Ohio. Interesting. In one day. Yeah, we had no problems. Really interesting. But I get chased randomly on my rides around here, so who knows. Thomas. Thomas says, hello, sir. This is Thomas. We can arrange a lunch bag delivery to you. Not sure what you mean by that. Oh, and Large Marge dropped a link to the Discord. So anyone who's new tonight, if you want to jump into Discord, if you're not familiar with it, it's a phone app or it's just a website. Um, and it's basically a glorified message board, but we share photos. That's where everyone's posting their drink photos and where we'll pull up some bike photos here in a bit. Jay Dandy said Dan L rides a bike. I think we'll like him. Yeah, that's always good enough for us. Oh, Dan's quitting smoking. Well, I know. Yeah, um, plenty of friends who try to quit and have quit. So, yeah. Oh man. R. Robert says Quinn is wasted, has a Chinelli, but doesn't even drink IPA. You could get wasted on anything. Oh, Patrick said the Woodford is the rye. Okay, so that's their. It's not their bourbon. It's their rye. That's why it was in the green bottle, huh? Rick said traveling through was riding with hot dogs in his pocket to get the dogs to chase him. I'm trying to remember. Did you show any dog chases in your Ohio videos traveling through? I can't remember a dog chase. But then again, if I'm getting chased, oh, you did talk about it, right? But then again, yeah, when you're getting chased by a dog, the last response is to pull out your camera and try and film it. Well, then again, with me, that'd probably be one of my earlier reactions. But Dylan said dogs are so bad on Ohio gravel grinders routes. Kind of why he's over gravel mostly. Huh. Yeah, I guess like I said, I haven't gotten down to the really good Ohio gravel grinder routes too much. And you would have thought 2 weeks in Amish country that we would have had like that would be like kind of the problem. It's not like, if the Amish have a dog, they're gonna have an invisible fence. You wouldn't think. But yeah, maybe it's just luck. You know. Quinn asked, "How do you stay stoked on road riding if people heckle you on the road?" Um, I guess I never get heckled on the road. The only people who heckle me are cars. Yeah, 'cause I mean most. I don't know. I mean, I ride to the trail, I ride to the gravel, I ride, so I'm always on the road. But yeah, I don't really have a problem getting heckled by anyone. But there's not like, I don't know. In Akron, there's not really the scene is not really divided. People don't care what you ride. So if you mean heckled by other cyclists, that just really doesn't happen around where I am. So it's not a problem I've ever worried about. Malk said that Pudgy and him ran into a couple sketchy dogs on their ride on Saturday. Pudgy said he almost got bit, but he's pretty quick with the water bottle. Yeah. Yeah, buy some bear spray for the dogs. I'm sure that would work. I always think about getting myself some mace just for the bad drivers who give me uh, too much shit. But then I also worry about the fact that I am can be a bit of a hothead with cars, and then I'm like, do I really need to be macing people? But like I talked about one night when I got home, right before we streamed, I had a car like coming at me, like running me off the road. So in that situation, I would have loved to mace him, but Summit wants to see a donkey. Dylan said he loves dogs, but has had to spray one. Yeah, I've always been able to outrun any dogs that I've ever had uh, come at me. I've been lucky with that. There's been a couple rats rides, our Wednesday night rides, where we've had some problems with like the dog, like dogs, just in neighborhoods, regular neighborhoods. So it almost doesn't matter where you were. These were like working class Akron neighborhoods, and we had a couple dog chases that we were pretty fairly concerned fairly concerned about. Oh, traveling through said he didn't have any footage of the dog chases in Ohio. Oh, Dan seems like he's had some serious, yeah, you know, dog encounters with you. Man, worrying about your daughter. Yeah, I hate that. I got bit when I was a kid. I was out for a jog. I probably only like 15 or 16, and I was out for a run, and a dog came charging across the yard and actually bit me right on my right above my hip, like right in the whatever this is midsection. Had a yeah, got it. I didn't need stitches, but I got a pretty good gash from it. So yeah, Chris, our black ball, was asking, does squirting water at a mad dog help? I gotta assume. So if you get them in the face, it can throw them off and make them stop, is what Pudgy said. Oh, traveling through said he carries pepper spray, and on his last trip he carried an air horn. Huh. Oh, Dylan, you're not carrying bottles at all, just the soft bladder. Interesting. Riding Around says he changed his name to Riding Around, inspired by traveling through. So, Riding Around, what was your other name? For the sake of continuity. Love handle. Pudgy, yeah, this is what you call a love handle. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my thing is, yeah, just out sprint the dog as much as you can. That's always the goal, is just to get away. Yeah, some we never needed stitches back then. Yeah, you're a kid, you just deal with it. Obsolescence carry spray. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't mind having something with me like that. Like I said, for people or animals. Man, like we were talking about on Tuesday, raccoons were our problem on the trip. Like we got warned about them. Like they're like, don't put food in your tent; they'll tear it apart. So, yeah, which is crazy. It's, Rusty posted. Let me zoom in on this. It's got basketball and the stream on. Nice. Fruited double IPA, passion fruit, dragon fruit, newer thick, newer thickness. When Wren House Brewing. Nice. Oh, riding around said he started the chat as James Holbrook, but all the other names inspired him. Yeah. Obsolescence carries a rocket launcher. Yeah, then let's look at we've had so much conversation in the bike pick group that I got to find the actual bikes, but Rusty put new wheels on his. This is a Surly Midnight Special, right? I believe so. It sure looks like one. I know we've chatted about this before, but I always. Oh, and this is the one that you wanted to change the wheel decals on. You were talking about that on Tuesday, but we were just rambling about our trip. Get a bigger. Right? That's a midnight special? I can't see what. Yeah. So he went to carbon wheels and he said he dropped almost a pound with them. That's a slick looking bike. I do like it. Clean, but still kind of vintage looking with this standard triangle. Thomas asked if I've ever tried any Chinese beers. I have never had any Chinese beers. One of the channel members, Ryan Hugh, has visited China a couple times. Once on vacation, I think once on work. He's the guy I had on who works for Bridgestone. He's a chemist over at Bridgestone. But I haven't asked him if he tried any of the beers while he was over there. But are you guys making fun of me? Did I pronounce Midnight Special wrong? Riding around asked if anyone's ridden the Great Divide. I never have. I don't think anyone who usually chats in this group has ever said they have. But if I've forgotten, chime in. Let me know. Go pull up some more bike pics. Oh yeah, Pudgy's Bear Claw, which we've been talking about. His latest photo of it, which is so sweet. And I know on Tuesday we talked about it a little bit, but again, we were like, I had the guests on and we were rambling about our trip, so we didn't really get into it. But yeah. Oh yeah, he's got the velocities on there. What are your? I'm sure this has been mentioned in the chat, but what bars are you running on that, Pudgy? Carbon spacers, nice. Thompson seat posts, cadmium brook saddle. I actually don't know how to pronounce that. I only, as you guys know, I run the B17s and a GRX group set, which oh yeah, that is the Midnight Special. That's right. Yeah, Summit Perry talking about Ryan Hugh. I bet he did try some beer. Yeah, I'm sure. Yes. So riding, pull up another bike here in a minute. Riding around said he's heading to Helena Mountain to do a couple 100 miles north of Helena and back. Helena, riding a Salsa Fargo. I'm not sure where that is. Is that part of the Great Divide ride? And traveling through is planning on doing it. Someone brought that up. Yeah. Oh, whiskey bars on Pudgy's bike. Yeah. And the saddle was the C15. Yeah, then Malk said he volunteered out there building trails. Nice. Cab Cambium C15 is what the saddle is. Yeah, like Funny Brad was saying, he absolutely loves it. I know Large wasn't crazy about his. But again, like we always talk about, saddles are not even worth arguing about. Like you can't recommend saddles to people unless they are giving you a bunch of stuff that like makes it obvious that there's a reason they don't like one or the other. They're just all so everyone's different. Like Otis hates B17s but loves that what's the video that Pathless Pedal just put out with that Gilbertudes, the big leather saddle company. He absolutely loves those. So this is Summit Perry's latest image of the GT. I love those cool rear stays like that. Oh, how even the top tube kind of sticks out the back there is cool. As we said, we got it coming back from Ohio to Erie. We got a nice draft from Summit Perry and some new, fresh conversation with him and his girlfriend coming out to ride back from Maslin with us. Got to hang out and have a beer and everything. So yeah, it was awesome. Oh yeah, this picture. Speaking of Malk, this so great. So wait, let's get the caption first. It said Straggler plus TV tray equals propane and cookout success. Yeah, that's a lot of weight on there, man. Riding around asked if anyone ever traded out drop bars for Jones bars. There's a number of people in this group who have gone to the Jones style bars. I don't know if they're, now that there's a couple. Oh, Rusty, thank you. I'm so in Tour de France mode that I see MT and I'm thinking mountain. MT is the abbreviation for Montana, of which Helena is the capital. Nice. So, yep, trying to, you know me. I Summit has the Jones bars too. Okay, yeah. So you're saying the C17s are better for more upright riding? I find that with the Brooks too. If I'm too aggressive on the B17, the Brooks B17, it's a little uncomfortable on the taint and the balls. But GT called their triple triangle technology. Rusty likes the C15 better unless the bike is super upright. Jay Dandy with the picture we have on the screen of Malk said Hank Hill would be proud. Yeah. Malk's front end was a bit tippy, so was he. Yeah. Oh, and these are, we were showing on Rusty's bike earlier. These are the wheels, and he was switching out the decals from white ones to yellow ones to have the right touch. And he was saying how much of a pain it was. I know he's asking for advice on Tuesday, of which I didn't have any, but I think you guys chatted about a little bit. This is a great photo, sunset photo with a dramatic sky that Rick took the other day with this new upside down bar setup. Rick said it looked like on our Ohio to Erie trip that I had packed less than he packs for a day ride, which is kind of funny. But I did really try to go minimalist on that trip. Okay, Pudgy was laying out here the with the cambiums, like their progression for how you're riding. I have a super like I have one of the Brooks leather saddles that are super aggressive, and I now have it on my Viscount. I put it on a couple other bikes. I toured on it once. The first time me and Ben did a double 2 nights in a row was the first time I ever. I think it was the first time I ever went bike camping or like touring at all, and I had it on my Roger Rivieri, and like it was so uncomfortable by the end. But now I have it on like a vintage bike that's very aggressive, the Viscount Aerospace, and it's actually a great saddle on that. I think that what are those ones? The B, do they use the same progression? I think it would, because they called them Swallows for a while, but it's the really narrow leather one, and on that bike it's great because I am hunched over and I only ride that bike if I'm trying to be in that position. But on every other, I had it on. I know I had it on the Riviera, which I was using as a light touring bike, bike packing bike. But yeah, horrible. That's not the. If you're going to be at all upright, it was a horrible saddle for that. So uh, Malk said he got the B17. He's not blown away yet. Leather will take a bit to break in. Yeah, some people are different. Like I said, I like a brand new B17, and then I just think they get better. Micah, who I've always mentioned that he was on talking about the Fool's Loop. He's just switched over to the leather saddles, and he's a He's a fairly aggressive rider too. He rides a lot and he rides quick. He said the same thing as me. He liked them right away, and then it just got better as they broke in. I'm losing my autofocus. Hate that. There we go. Yeah, but other people really do. They only like them once they break them in. So, yeah, you'll have to let us know how it goes as you get used to it. One thing I was saying about, and I think I was talking about this on Tuesday, and I know I've talked about it before, is one of the reasons I like the B17s is I feel like there's more positions in the saddles, where some saddles, you kind of, there's only one spot to sit. The B17, I usually ride like back towards the rivets, but I can kind of move around on the saddle. And when you're going to spend long days pushing like a heavy load, I found that to be a benefit of them. I don't know if anyone else does that. Rusty said the bar setup don't hurt Rick's feelings. He gets very uptight about us making fun of his upside down bars. But I do. It's funny because the upside down bar thing is really, I see it still like it's always an old dude. It's some old guy who's flipped around like his 70s bike that he still has his 10 speed, flips around the bars and rides them upside down. The good thing is Rick has set this up a way with the way modern hoods are way better. When I watch those dudes like using the brakes upside down and everything, it just looks very dangerous. Yeah. Love the pick, dislike the bar. The dude's mad. Jay Dandy. Riding around said he has a B17 to install and break in, but will wait till he returns from the Great Divide. Yeah, my B17 that I just put onto the gravel bike, the rally that I rode, um, that one I traded for a photo gig from my friend Woody, and it was never in the greatest shape. I actually tightened it a little bit, and then I've proofided it a number of times. Uh, One thing that's weird is the rivets are coming loose. So I actually need to talk to somebody about like re-riveting that saddle. And I mean, riveting isn't super complicated, but yeah. So something I need to look into because I think they're going to end up popping out. I think they might have ended up rusting from the bottom a little bit. So Malk said he thinks the C19 is too upright for any drop bar. Oh, yeah, and Pudgy agreed. Yeah. So Patrick said he had the same experience with the B17s, the B17 leather saddles, that he likes them right away. Yeah. And Mulk said 500 miles. The one I, so the Otis Dirty River traded me the one that I have on my Trek, which is the bike that I used to, the last couple years I've done any of our camping trips on. And just up until the last year, I kind of rode just as much as the Rally. And that one's one of the brown B17s. And that didn't have a lot of wear on it at all. I liked it right away, but last or 2 years ago when we were on Ohio to Erie is when it did hit that 500-600 mile mark, and I really just I did notice a complete that it got even more comfortable. So I think for some people, yeah, they're not that into them, and then they become totally comfortable. Me, I liked it right away, and then it became even more comfortable around that 500-600 mile mark. Like I said, the one on the Raleigh was already used, and it didn't. It was the nice thing about it. It didn't have a, even though it was worn, it didn't have a very like distinct shape to it. You know, some people's bodies really shape a Brooks saddle in a very specific way. This one was just kind of worn in, and it wasn't like making me favor one leg or the other or anything like that. So, Summit was saying that Kristen has a C19, and she sits pretty. When we were riding, is that what she had, Summit, when you were riding back with us? Because it seems like she sits pretty upright. Because that was what, a flat bar bike and everything, and then got a C67 for her Drake. I'll have to pull that one up here in a minute. I'm not this C67. Traveling through says he has 18,000 miles on his B17. Wow, that is amazing to have that. Yeah, many miles on your saddle. That's awesome. And then Blackball was saying he agrees that you could kind of move around on a B-17. Yeah. Broadford likes the Ergon SR Pro. Yeah, I've seen those for sure. Oh, Obsolescence was telling me there's a leather shop in North Hill. I'm surprised I have never noticed that because I ride through North Hill all the time. Yeah. Rusty said this is totally off topic, but totally worth bringing up. There's a dude in the crowd at the Suns game wearing a Baker Mayfield shirt. Woke up feeling dangerous. Nice. Jay Dandy said, still surprised at the amount of B-17 love. Does no one watch Rides of Japan? I have never watched that. Pudgy said he enjoys their quirkiness. Dale's Cannon said, sell Atomic. Is that spelled right? Anatomica gang. Yeah, Cell Anatomica game. I know those saddles. I just sometimes I go to say something out loud and I realize I've only ever read it. I've never actually said it out loud. So I'll have to check out this Rides of Japan. I am not familiar with that. Like I always do. I have to make a note because I will not remember. So is he a guy who hates B-17s? So riding around says he's never counted miles. How many of you guys track all those stats? Since I've had Strava, I track all that stuff. I never did before Strava, which now I wish I knew how many miles I had on some of the bikes, like my old mountain bike, which is now my winter bike, or the Peugeot. Like I got Strava not long after I got that bike, but so yeah, I have all my bike stats, and then as the saddles, it's kind of like if it goes on the bike when the bike is new, I have an idea. But then just in my mind, I know when I've switched it from bike to bike. So I never have 100%, you know, I don't know 100% unless the saddle went on the bike when I first build it up, what the mileage is. But I do have a general idea just from paying attention to all my numbers. Yeah. I love knowing the numbers. Like and I'm not training for anything. I'm not like a super into performance guy, but I find that kind of stuff fascinating. Erin, my girlfriend, actually just made me a Excel sheet where she calculated out my months and everything since I've been on Strava and my mileage and all that. And it's really fascinating to look at like July last year, July the year before, and all that kind of stuff. Or winter riding, or I'll see like where the numbers dip way down and be like, oh yeah, I got injured with my sciatica or anything like that. So the leather shop has Harley seats with rivets and stuff. So they'd be. I bet they could fix that for sure. Yeah. So you guys are saying Weight Weenie is about rides to Japan because that would make. So the reason leather saddles, and I think most of the people in this chat know this, but the reason leather saddles went out of style is not because they're not comfortable. It's because the weight. So you know, almost everybody rode a leather saddle. All race bikes had leather saddles. Bikes came with leather saddles, and then yeah, it was a weight thing. To drop the weight, they switched saddles, and that's when like Brooks kind of went out of style and all that. And now they're making a big comeback, as a lot of us are riding gravel bikes that aren't super light, bike touring, where it doesn't the saddle weight is not going to be the difference that makes or breaks it. The saddle weight is never going to be the difference if you're not winning the Tour de France, in my opinion, anyways. You're way better off being comfortable, as Jan Hine says. Comfort is speed. Being comfortable on your bike makes you faster. So Traveling through said he loves stats, has to know how far he goes and what his top speed was at least. Yeah, yeah, and I like seeing segments. When I rode home tonight, the video I made, there's a segment called Y to High, so that's the Y bridge over the Little Cuyahoga Valley to the High Bridge. That used to be one of my things. I just wanted to KOM that little thing, and I would ride it on my way home from the bars when most of the lights were off. And so just even tonight on my ride home, just feeling like, hey, I'm pushing it a little bit, but I'm not going crazy, and I'm slowing down. And as you saw, I was still running the red lights when I could. But it's just fascinating to me to be like, okay, so that was 5 minutes and 18 seconds on that segment. My PR, which was once the KOM of that segment, was 440. And just to know that difference between remembering how I felt when I pushed it to my absolute limit and tonight just like kind of riding hard during the day with most of the lights on is that kind of stuff I really find interesting, you know. Oh, Pudgy was saying about the Rise of Japan. He's a huge gram counter. So Broadford was saying he puts up with Rise of Japan's weight weaniness because of his good humor. Yeah, I mean, if like so, Phil Gaiman, like, there's a guy who should be a weight weenie, right? He goes to get like KOMs on climbs. That matters. If you're a British hill climb champion, like, yeah, I mean, those dudes are like those bikes are dangerous. They don't ride those bikes back down the hill climbs. That's like how light they're making them. That makes sense. For us normal people, yeah, like everyone wants a light, fast bike. I mean, it doesn't mean like make your bike unnecessarily heavy, but for most of us, we're carrying more weight right here than we can cut off our bike. You know, you'd be better off to lose this than anything you could do to modify your bike, right? Riding around says he gets on his bike to go back in time just like when he was a kid, get out and go, leave the phones, computers, and find adventure. I love that riding around. That is something that is like very true to the way I ride alone a lot. Like, I don't have my phone on my bars or anything like that. Erin, my girlfriend, is totally different. She likes to know the speeds. She likes all the details. Even if I ever get a computer, which I probably will, would be for the mapping when we're trying to get somewhere specific. That's a big reason I want it. Save phone battery, stuff like that. But I do the same thing. Like, there's a lot of like, I turn on Strava and then I put my phone in my pocket. Like, I like to see the stats when I get back, but I'm not paying attention to them while I'm riding. So, same thing I was just talking about with that segment I go for. I'm riding on feel, you know. I don't have a power meter. I'm not looking at numbers while I'm riding. I'm not looking at my speed while I'm riding. I'm riding on feel. But then I like to see what I've done when I do get back. So Patrick said he just got back into Strava because he got a new Garmin watch, but it's kind of cool to compare now versus a couple years ago. And yeah, I'm not actually anymore getting faster on, like, there's still like I could still like up a time once in a while on a segment, but I like to ride farther. I ride more. I spend way less time like really hammering the pedals, and uh, just as much as I ride, I've gotten, I could ride quicker than someone who, is a very casual rider. It's just, the last few years of putting 6,500 miles, that just naturally I'm now, well, not naturally, through that I become a stronger rider. But yeah, those metrics of speed are less and less important to me, and it's like I really go out to have a good time. I mean, it is a little bit of a workout for me. Like when I'm riding alone, I will be like, riding in a harder gear, pushing it a little bit, but I care less and less about the actual speed and KOMs. Once in a great while, it's fun to go out. Like me and Pudgy, when he was on, we're talking about. Sometimes you do. Sometimes someone goes on and gets your time, and you're like, I think I get that back. Like, I am competitive, but that's the exception more than the rule for me anymore. I find a lot of people when they first get Strava, that like becomes like a big focus, and I was included in the beginning of like, get this segment, PR on this, PR on that, and then I think people either go in one of two directions where that becomes something they're always into, and then they ride paceline group rides and they do interval training in the winter, or they go the other direction after a while and it's like these numbers are fun to know, but they're not dictating what I'm doing, you know. So, like I've always said too, when there's a time like even like the High to Y Bridge one I'm talking about, I know I did that on a 1982 Peugeot with its original drivetrain. So when some guy beat me and I know he's riding a carbon fiber aero bike, you know, yeah, he won. He's got the time, but uh, I probably pushed the same amount of watts, you know. Ah, dang it. I moved down the chat too far because I'm way, way behind on it. See where we're at. Rusty was saying rides to Japan refused to use a Garmin mount because of the 25-gram difference. Yeah. You guys probably already answered this because I'm way too late because I'm behind in the chat, but he said he was lucky enough to score a couple free mountain bikes that were getting thrown away. If he just takes them to a shop, will they do a little maintenance? Yeah, any shop will do it. Any shop I've ever been to has a tune-up, like just a tune-up rate, and then depending on how much work needs to be done, that price will be adjusted. You know, I still sometimes take like before the tour. I didn't want it like that 11-speed group set on my bike. I'm just not that good at tuning, so I took it to Dirty Rivers to have Dirty River, our local bike shop, to have the where Large Marge works, just to get the minimum done. I'm like, make sure the gears are indexed right, and then make sure the brakes are right. So yeah, it could go anyways. Good thing to go to a good thing reason to take a old mountain bike or something like that to a shop too is even if you don't want to pay to get certain things fixed because the bike was free, they could tell you like straight up this is dangerous. Like I know at Dirty River, they're in the north side of Akron. They get a lot of people who walk in who are like way less fortunate. Their bike is just their survival, and like I know Otis ends up fixing some stuff for free or seeing what people can pay when they come in like that, just to get them back on the road on something safe. Because people do walk in, and he's like, "I'm afraid that you're gonna go ride down the hill on this bike." So yeah, definitely worth getting it checked out. Riding around said he stays away from the numbers. You can go down a real rabbit hole, and I think I was already addressing that. Like you definitely can, and some people become like totally like obsessed with that. I like it. I enjoy it. It's not yeah. I ride my bike because I love riding my bike, and oh, I Rusty said I mispronounced, so it's Phil Guyman. Guyman. Phil Guyman. But you got a KOM hitting 51 miles per hour. I don't know if you guys are joking or if that's true. Going downhill, I would assume. I I've talked about this a number of times, but and I know over the weekend I did cross that barrier. My alarm bells start going off at 35 miles per hour, and that's what makes me feel like tapping the brakes. When we were coming home through Amish country with the loaded bikes, we hit a pretty intense downhill, and I just like held the drops, and I'm like, I'm not touching the brakes, and I think that must have been getting up into the 40-mile-an-hour range. Yeah, but I that is not comfortable for me, and I don't know what it is, but I know because on all my rides with good descents, they almost all top out at 35, so I must start to tap the brakes around that point. We talked about this too, but it's interesting. Our friends who have ridden motorcycles, they're all the best ascenders because I think they're used to very high speeds on two wheels. So, and like we don't have any sustained climbs around here, which means we don't have any sustained descent either. So I'm only used to like fast and steep stuff. It's all valley stuff. So there's no, I've never gone down something like Mount Ventoux. You know, Dan L says he doesn't worry about any of the fancy stuff. He's just riding around town. Yeah, yeah, nothing wrong with that. I turn on Strava no matter what because I like to see the end of the year numbers. Just like it's interesting to me, and it doesn't. Like I said, last couple years I've hit 6,500 miles. I'm like, that's fascinating. Last year it was the last week of the year, and I was like a few hundred miles off that number, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go for those miles to see if I could do it. Just something to give myself a challenge and a goal. I enjoy that kind of stuff too, though. So traveling through said not a weight weaning, but he keeps weight in mind. Cut ounces where you can. Try to make up for luxury items like hot dogs. Oh, Jay Dandy's right too. For Dan, if there's a bike co-op or a bike kitchen, you know, that would be a great thing to do with like an older bike like that. Dylan said Garmin watch has been a game changer. Only use the Wahoo for navigation now. Oh, nice. Dan L said he likes. So I'm probably in a middle ground position. Dan L. Like I don't have super expensive or super fancy bikes either, but I still like I like watching pro racing, so I know all about the fancy stuff. Uh, even though I'm never gonna own a pro race bike, I'm probably never gonna have a carbon gravel bike. But yeah, Patrick said he's for sure not getting faster. And riding around asked if anyone else rides a recumbent. We passed so many recumbents when we just rode across Ohio. I'm so fascinated to at some point try one. Like, I don't want to ride a recumbent at this point. Like, I like classic bikes. It's just what I like. But I would really be interested to try a recumbent. I mean, I know they are more efficient with the aerodynamics and stuff like that. But to me, the idea of sitting back and like pedaling, it seems really weird, but it must be really comfortable. So I just want to try one to feel it. Yeah. Jetsman, hey, what's up, man? He said he has a few cat trikes. So I'm assuming those are the three wheel recumbents. We passed a ton of those on our trip. Oh, I'll Google that. Oh, it's a brand name. Yeah, we passed so many of these out on the road. More, I felt like I wasn't seeing as many like of these style bikes for a while, and then when we were out on our tour, we passed so many, especially in like mid Ohio, um, on the bike pass. They don't seem like if you ride around a city a lot, like they don't seem like you'd want to be on one, but definitely on long tours on a bike pass and stuff like that, I could see why. But again, just that it seems weird to me that that would be comfortable, but it obviously has to be. Also, I always think about how do you put the power down, but I guess your back's kind of pushed into there and you have those levers you're pushing against. So, yeah, I need to meet someone who has one just to get into one of those and try it out. So riding around and touring is great with a recumbent, fast, comfortable, not numb hands, sore butt, sore neck. Yeah. Patrick was saying that his neighbors across the street newly, train newly disabled people to use hand bikes and the like wheelchair basketball coach as well. Nice. Malk said he's going to try for a KOM with the propane tank on the rack. Oh, so Dylan said so true about the motorcycle thing. He said having lit and rod of motos, he can never descend fast enough on a bike. Huh. Yeah, see that's fascinating. Like so yeah, never ridden motorcycles and I just top out. Like yeah, watching Dylan and his buddies descend when we all rode together on the industrial gravel ride. I mean, they would just be, or even when we rode the mountain bike trails the day before, they would just be out of sight of me in a minute. And going down, we rode the where the International Soapbox Derby is. We rode down the Derby track, and I just coasted into it, and was like, "Do I need to tap my brakes?" They rode into the hill at full speed to go even faster. Yeah, just oh, riding around will hit 63. Wow, a mountain in Colorado. Yeah, that's not me. Dale's can said some people become a slave to their yearly mileage. Yeah, and I try not to do that. Like I haven't, you know, I look at my numbers. Like last year being close, it made a fun challenge at the end of the year to like try and get more miles and tie what I'd done the year before. But I don't worry about it this time of year. I also know the idea that like I've had sciatica. I could get injured. I could get hit by a car. Like I'm not going to be. That's not my be all and end all. My goal is to have fun on a bike, get some exercise. Drive a car as little as I possibly can. Trying to keep up here. Dylan said he grew up riding his dad's various recumbents. He said they're really fun, but not something he wants to own. Yeah, I have never ridden one. I've never ridden a recumbent just because I don't know anyone who has one. And none of the shops, like, so 30 Rivers, my home shop. There's a shop down here I go to, also here on State Road. Wheel and Wrench. I've never seen a recumbent in any of them, so I've never had a good chance to try one. Oh, I have top chat on again. Sorry, guys. I'm missing some of the comments. Shoot. That's one of the first things I need to like have a note on my monitor that says turn off top chat. It filters out some of your comments. YouTube thinks like it has a better idea of what I want to see. But we're not such a busy chat that we need to have that on. God damn it. Because Jay Dandy is saying, "Hey, big bike, Tim will review your carbon race bike. He gets lots of likes." That comment is not showing up for me. So Pudgy said he worked at Maine's most known recumbent shop, and on the rare occasion he test rode one, they could be squirrely depending on where the front wheel is. Oh, Dylan rode a tandem recumbent across Ohio when he was 10. Wow. I've always been fascinated by the high recumbents, like the true recumbents, not the three wheel ones, like where someone's sitting fairly elevated. When we did Ohio Dairy the first year, we were talking to a guy. He was asking us if we were touring and how far we were going, and he was on one of those. And I watched him start up, and it's so interesting to watch someone get the balance on a where the seat is high on a two wheel recumbent. So Jetsman said he likes his Cat Trike 700 for long rides, but he wouldn't take them on the road. Yeah. And I ride everywhere I go. So I mean, a recumbent. That's why a recumbent would never suit my style. Like I'm not putting anything in my car. 95% of my rides, I'm literally riding out my door onto a busy road. So Dano said that's cool. Strava sounds like interesting stuff. Yeah, gives you a goal, shows you the number, and even if you're just commuting, I mean, I think you would find it fascinating just to know how many miles you were riding. You know, also it's good for timing. Like if you do commute, it's nice to know. Strava. I use that to be like, I haven't gone this route in a while, and I could go back to a ride and be like, how long does it actually take me to get there? So, god damn it, I keep moving this chat too fast. Malk said he has nothing against recumbents, just no interest, same as e-bikes. Um, yeah, Malk. Right now, I don't have an interest, but that's how I've always talked about e-bikes. As I get older, if I got injured, if I couldn't keep up with my friends, an e-bike would be the a godsend. Same with recumbents. I know some people ride recumbents because of back issues. So, you know, Blackball said the chat got faster. Yeah, I think because it's putting everyone's comments in instead of filtering them. Oh, Jets. Oh, you're local, Jetsman. I forgot that. He said he could meet me on the Portage or Freedom Trail sometime with his 700, and I could try it. I would love that. Broadford. Electric recumbent. Pudgy was saying if the front wheel, we're talking about recumbents, if the front wheel is in front of your feet, it's intuitive. When it's under behind your knees, it's super squirrely. Huh. Look up the Easy Racer Tour Easy. Is it 10 o'clock? Oh, yeah, 10 o'clock. Have to do a fiddle break. Large Marge said he can track stand pretty good on a recumbent. Large comes in strong. Yeah, Rusty, that is a good point. So, Rusty was saying if you mark your rides on Strava as a commute, Strava shares that data anonymously with city planners. Erin, my girlfriend, who she's talked about this on the stream, is doing work related to cycling infrastructure and trying to improve cycling for commuters and for everyone all around town. And she has access to that Strava. What do they call that? Strava. I'm drawing a blank, but they use, yeah, that data is super helpful. So it is a really good feature that they do with Strava. Yeah, Malk said Dustin Klein is a super sweet electric specialized. That's a super high end, expensive specialized that Dustin Klein has. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but yeah, it's awesome. And Broadford brought up the heat map on Strava, which is great. Yeah, you could see where people are riding, and the lines become darker or like brighter, I guess, actually, uh, depending on where people are riding. And it's a great way to find new routes. Rusty says e-bikes are cheating, and I don't think they're not cheating. I got passed by a large woman on an e-bike today, and she's pedaling. And my guess is she wouldn't ride a bike if it wasn't an e-bike. And now she's out on a bike instead of in a car, you know. So e-bikes are only cheating if you're like taking people's KOMs on Strava or something like that, or you're racing. But to me, I mean, saying e-bikes are cheating is like saying getting in your car to haul your gear is cheating. You know what I mean? Or driving to work because it's raining is cheating. I don't, you know. I have zero problem with e-bikes. I'm glad I don't need one, uh, but that could change at any minute. Yeah. Oh, you're right, Rusty. The Strava is called like Strava Metro or something like that for the where they use the data to yeah be able to plan city planners. Yeah, like my dad loves to ride his bike. My mom is not in great physical shape, and like she's not. I mean, she's not in horrible physical shape, but there's no way my dad would enjoy riding a bike with my mom. If he would get her an e-bike, I think they would have a blast riding together. He'd be getting his workout and riding at the pace he wants, and then she would be able to be out on a bike with him. You know, they're retired, they go places. I think it'd be a game changer for them, you know. So Rusty think so Rusty says the cars are cheating too. So there you go. Pudgy says sex was cheating. All right, yeah, let's take a bathroom break. This is the new thank the members video. Tried to keep it simple. Oh yeah, and well, real quick, Dylan saying getting blazed past on e-bikes. When we were down in Amish country, it's the Amish women, and I assume a lot of Mennonites too, probably more. So just yeah, everywhere on those e-bikes, climbing all those crazy hills. For them, it's like, man, that's got to be a great thing, you know. Those e-bikes are way faster than the horse is, so yeah. Also, I'm saying, yeah, pedal assist versus throttle is two different things. And if someone would give me an e-bike, I would definitely ride it. So pedal brake video is the same. That video is a masterpiece. So the members video is the one I changed. Let's go to that right now. I just want to take a quick moment during this break to thank our channel members. Their financial support really does make it possible to do this many live streams and produce this many videos. So thanks a lot. If you're interested in joining, we could drop a link on the screen in the chat right now that you could check out and follow that link and join the channel and get some special perks too. Anyways, thanks to everybody else too for tuning in. I really enjoyed doing this. Check out the merch store and also drop a like on this video. Thanks, every little bit helps. We will be back in a couple minutes. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I called it a bathroom break like a caveman, is what Pudgy said. Yeah, last year, Large Marge took off after some uh, Mennonite e-bikers and sat in their draft for a little while. Um, I've done that on the Freedom Trail. There was someone who passed me on an e-bike, and they must have. Someone said e-bikes are governed to 20. I thought they were governed to like some are governed to like 28. Um, this guy must have been doing about 22, 23, and I was able to jump on his wheel for a while. So yeah. Dylan said he was close to buying the sort of the e-cargo bike, but he ended up being fine with the regular one. Nice. Key said they're going to need another piddle break because you're watching the piddle break video. Let's see if I could find this. Oh, I don't have it up there. So this is the Easy Racer. So these are like vintagey ones. Do they make new ones? Oh, there's one with like the window too. Carbon forks. Wow. Titanium, titanium with carbon forks. I've never seen one like this. Is that the one with the window we just clicked on? Oh, I forgot. Speaking of e-bikes, um, when I went out on my ride tonight, and I was going to Dylan said, "Titanium recumbent, you got to be shatting me." Yeah. So I was riding through Summit Lake, that boardwalk. If you're on the industrial gravel ride over the lake, through there, and there was a woman, an older woman, who was standing there with a bike with one of those tall handlebars and those like 20-inch wheels or something, almost like the front of that recumbent we were just looking at, that I'm pointing to that you can no longer see. Um, and she was like, "Can you help me?" And I thought she wanted help getting the bike into her car or something like that. So I was like, "Yeah, no problem." And I circled around, and she actually just had a flat tire, and she was like, "Do you know what's wrong with this?" Like, I tried to put air in it, it won't hold any air. And I looked in a Schrader valve. I'm like, "Oh, this bike has tubes." I was like, "You have a flat." And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "There's a tube in there and the tube is flat. Do you have any extra tubes?" And she was like, "No." And I'm like, kind of explained how I carry extra tubes, I carry tire levers, I carry a pump. Flats are really common. She's like, "I'm just a leisure rider. I've never had a flat before." And I'd explained like flats can happen for any kind of uh, reason. You know what I mean? And she rides the towpath to Barberton. So from there, about 10 miles where she was, maybe a little less. And I really had to explain to her, like, if you're in Barberton and you don't have anyone to call, that's a 10-mile walk. Like, you need to get to a bike shop. I told her, buy two tubes, buy some tire levers. She already had a pump and all that stuff. But yeah, it's it just surprises me sometimes how people have. She ordered the bike online, so she just had no knowledge of it. And she's like, they just don't make anything like they used to. And so I didn't get into that. I'm just like, yeah, you could go 2 years without a flat, and then you could get three flats in a week. So it was kind of yeah, totally forgot about it till right now. So I'm just rambling about this, but yeah, one of those things. Oh, so Rusty was saying he wants a big dummy or a big easy, which are like more like cargo bikes, right? And Dylan was saying do it. He said he only drives his car to ride a mountain bike now. Yeah. Traveling through asked if I got her number. Yeah, it was like she was like, so should I go to a bike shop? Like she was like just no idea what the next step was. Like, and she's like, well, I just pulled the bike out and it's like a fold up thing. Like yeah, like this 20-inch wheel e-bike with the battery and the bars flip up and then you lock it in place and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have a patch kit with me. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're not riding tonight. I mean, that's I was wondering that summit if anyone those tubes. I was almost going to text Otis, but then I looked at the clock and it was like 7 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm not bothering him with a bike problem. That's not even mine. At 7 o'clock, I'm like, take it to a shop. And then she told me how she drives through the Merriman Valley. I'm like, Blimp City's down there. I recommend Dirty River. And she said something about living in the falls, and I'm like, well, on State Road, there's Wheel and Wrench, the one I mentioned earlier. She's like, I'm new to Ohio. I really don't know where any of this is, and I'm just like, there came a point where I'm like, okay, I've got to go now. Like I, yeah, yeah. I wonder what your cargo bike does weigh, Dylan. Yeah. Pudgy said a lot of shops have oddball tubes sitting around collecting dust, waiting for someone like her. And then yeah, aren't do they those smaller tires too? Aren't those like don't children's bikes take like similar sized tires? I know last year during like when the pandemic was really bad, it was hard to get tubes for stuff like that. But Elf, yeah, I saw you talking about that. I whoops, hit the wrong buttons. These are solar powered bikes. Do I have the right thing? Let's see if I get this up here. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Is Control the button I need? No. Alt the button I need? There we go. Solar powered? So it's got a motor that's solar powered and then a recumbent? What just happened? The Elf is a solar and pedal hybrid vehicle powered by you and the sun, the most efficient vehicle on the planet. It was interesting when we were in France seeing all the variations on the bike, like the cargo bikes or the bikes that are have the long front end with the two kids in it and all that kind of stuff. Um, I was super impressed by all that. How people really do get around. Like this, a bike is a way of getting around completely, no matter what you're doing. That's pretty interesting stuff. Yeah. Tim's story is why like he jumps in what doesn't weigh. That doesn't wave sometimes. I really thought I was gonna help a woman put a bike into a trunk, or do something she couldn't. I thought she couldn't loosen something, and then there I am, like trying to explain how bicycle works. Pudgy said if he saw one of those elf bikes uh, hogging the trail, he'd hold an umbrella over its panels. And Malk said he doesn't have that titanium dentist money like Pudgy. Oh, you're right, Broadford. GCN did do a video on some kind of enclosed recumbent type thing. I'm not sure if it was actually the elf or not, but I did watch that video. And again, those are cool. Like if I'm sure they're very expensive, and if I like had a lifestyle that those are suited for, they're not in Akron, at all. Even when GCN was riding it, what where were they riding it around London, or whatever town they're based? I just want the maneuverability of a bike. I need that in traffic, especially when traffic is already not around here, not comfortable with bikes or anything slower moving. So riding around said he rides a Harley too. Is that cheating? Now, my attitude, like I always said, is ride whatever you like. I am definitely 100% behind like getting out of the car as much as possible and making cars as obsolete as possible. I live in a area that is built has been built for cars, and it's the number one priority, just like Detroit since the 50s, Midwest town. But I try to be in it as little as possible when it comes to bikes or anything. Like, I don't look down on any kind of bike. Just because I like a certain thing doesn't mean something else ain't cool. So, Large Marge is saying at some point it just ain't a bike anymore. And I guess that's true. But if you really did live in a city and you had to like move your kids around and your groceries, I wouldn't consider myself cycling on one of those elf bikes, but maybe that would make sense if I lived in a European city or some like city in the West in the U.S. where you could actually get by with that instead of your car. Yeah, I would. I if I had one of those, and I was using it for that, I would still have a bunch of bicycles, that I rode all the time. So Keith said that would be a blast riding down a hill on an icy road. Yeah, and I think like Large Marge, back to that point. At some point, it just ain't a bike anymore. And I think you're kind of right. It's not a bike anymore, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a place. So Rusty was saying it's not the most efficient because just building it makes it less efficient, and that's always true. That's true of the batteries in electric cars. Um, I've talked about this before. We think about how high tech these are, but in Ohio, these run on coal. Like you forget about it, but like this fancy little piece of thin tech that's absolutely mind blowing. It's a supercomputer in your pocket. Depending on where you live in the world or the country, this runs on burning coal. So, but so that's always something that you can factor into anything you're talking about, right? Uh, Rick was, I don't know if this was on the stream or if this was just in a conversation on the Discord. I think it was the Discord, but that I still like to shoot film and how unenvironmentally friendly film and those chemicals and the canisters and all that stuff is. And he's right. It's a hobby that I enjoy, but I also do have to be conscious about the idea that that's actually not something that's very environmentally friendly. But what goes into the digital camera that I'm shooting this on, so there's, you know, how many precious metals are in that camera? Where are those mines located? It's endless. You know what I mean? Ben says he would ride the thing. It just isn't a bike. Our large Marge. I absolutely agree with that. Am I missing? I still feel like I'm missing comments, even though I have it on live chat now. Oh, Dylan went and weighed the bike. So he said 45 pounds with bags and a front rack, nothing in the bags. Kind of surprising because it's one by, light tires, carbon cranks. Huh. Jay Dandy said, "Hey, Lanky, Tim doesn't know Rise of Japan. School him." You can just get a Prius or a Volt. Yeah. Riding around hasn't heard of Rides of Japan either, so. Yeah, I've spent some time in Clintonville as well, talking about where Rusty's considering moving and where Dylan is now. Pudgy says he can't move there because he'll have to move there too. Oh, and Malk's also considering moving to Grandview. Huh. It's funny with the Japan conversation, and then uh, Renee Hurst got brought up. So modern Renee Hurst, Jan Hein loves riding in Japan and is really obsessed with the fold-up bikes and stuff like that that they ride over there. I can't think of what those are called. Let me. Can I sit down here and still be on camera? Maybe I'll lower the angle. See if we get focus back. Nice. If you're on headphones, maybe pull them out for a second. I'm going to adjust my microphone a little bit. Jake Bovey says farts burn too. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. People do that. Not Bromptons, Pudgy. I mean, people in Japan do ride Bromptons, but I was thinking of there's more like serious touring bikes that fold like in the middle. They're with real size tires. I've read some of the in Bicycle Quarterly when they've done some tours in Japan about the bikes, and I'm trying to think of what that style is called. It's not a Brompton. It's not a small tired type bike. It looks like a normal touring bike that they can fold up. Keys was saying that they have to think about a new way to put out fire engines because battery cars burning because water doesn't put them out. Huh. Mall CoMotion is a brand. Actually, the woman I work with, who she rents the studio from me. She was here longer than I was, but I bought it, and then she still works here. She has a CoMotion, but just a regular touring bike CoMotion. It was actually really decked out. I was surprised she rode it to work one day. I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I'd never seen it, but yeah, she had really, really nice parts on it. So yeah, SNS coupling system to the pull apart frames. Yeah, they're. I've seen all that coupling stuff, but there's a name for this style of bikes. Up on my nightstand in my bedroom, I have all the Bicycle Quarterlies that Otis has given me all his doubles, but I'm not going to run up there and grab it right now. Oh, CoMotion do make breakdown frames too. Let's see, I've never actually gone to their website. They're all semi-custom, right? Aren't they? Aren't most of their bikes? Oh, here we go. See what their folding bike is, what it looks like. Oh, not seeing one on here though. Oh, it would be that. Is that the coupler right there? Oh, maybe not. That one photo looked like it had that. Oh, is that just the paint right there? Isn't that a coupler? Yeah, aren't these ways to break the bike down? Rinko, lanky. Lanky finally got the term I was looking for. Rinko bikes. Yeah. See what happens if we just Google that term. But that is exactly what I was thinking. Oh, of course. One of the second results is on Renee Ayers. Oh yeah, so you can see how they pack it down into a bike bag that small. So yeah, I could drop this link. I'm not going to read all this, obviously, while I sit here, even though that's what I started to do. But yeah, there's the link to the Renair's article about how the Rinko bikes. Yeah, Broadford. So he was saying they have quick releases to break them down and all that. And so I think one of the big reasons, not just for like these are specific, what Renee Hurst, what Bicycle Quarterly, Jan Hein is interested in is like touring. But I think a big thing is Japan is so crowded that it's if you want to bring your bike on a train, it has to break down. I think like they won't let you on like a train unless you like put your bike into one of these positions. From what I read, that's what I remember. You know, yeah, they sound so cool, and they like have built custom ones. If you ever get the chance to go to this website, read some Bicycle Quarterly articles. They're fascinating about all that kind of stuff. But Al Broadford was saying you have to put your bike in a bag when you take it on the train. Look up soft ride bike, which is what you guys are chatting about. Is this what we're looking at? What are these guys? I've seen this shape before. This looks like a time trial bike, though. Right, this is a time trial bike or a triathlon bike with Spinergy wheels, Spin Energy wheels. Broadford put the puking face up. Look at this. This is one I haven't seen. So there's like triathlon time trial bikes I have seen. This one, this is like a mountain bike. And like you said, you're not allowed to wear socks. Triathlete joke, yeah. Rusty. Yeah, they're pretty hideous. Judging by the wheel sets on almost all of these, from the spin energies to these race lights, Bontrager race lights, uh, a bunch of Lance Armstrong era stuff, huh? Yeah, what is that? An early Durace group set on that one. 7,900 maybe. I can't imagine walking somewhere and seeing one of these things chained up to like the regular bike rack, you know. And the saddle positions there though, it looks like you could slide that thing. You got what, a foot to play with. Oh, this guy's got flat bars on his. Pudgy said it was a leaf spring idea that was crazy sketchy. And Broadford said the people on those are always so proud. And then Jay Dandy said Soft Ride was the name of Pudgy's ex that cheated on him. Yeah, 90s stuff. Yeah, late 90s stuff, right? The blue one is the worst. Which one? Let's see. Where's the. Oh, yeah. I'll take that group set. Oh, yeah. Got to put the bottle holder behind the seat extra. I want it. I totally want to set it. Not this one with the yellow on them, but these Spin Energy wheels. Like, I totally want to set it is. I guess there's a lot of nuance in buying those wheels. Some from a certain era became more safe than the original ones were. They go for like $500 a piece on eBay still, though. Look at this one. Look at that bottle rack. You'd squirt the dogs if they're coming up behind you with that one without even taking it out of the cage, right? Dylan said, show a soft ride to someone who disagrees that a round tube metal triangle frame is timeless. The 1992 slingshot bike. Let's see what that is. Oh, Pudgy said he's got some OG three-spoke spin somewhere. I don't know. Have I? I don't think I've ever seen the three-spoke. Those four-spoke ones are the ones I always see. Oh, Is this them? Yeah, these are the ones I'm used to seeing, like the classic. Oh, those are the mountain bike I forgot they made the mountain bike version of those. Large talking about that bike photo. He said the dogs won't want to chase you on that. Oh, spins. I thought you were just abbreviating it, Pudgy. See that? Oh yeah, I'd be all about those. Not with the decals, but let's see. No, these are card. See if we can find another. Oh, these probably, huh? Oh wait, what was the other thing I was gonna Google that you guys were talking about? The '92 bike. Oh, there we go. Slingshot. Oh, I remember that. I don't remember seeing one in person, but I've definitely read about these things. Yeah. God, that is ugly. It's ugly, and I would totally own one if I came across it for like some like it was in a garage sale, and I just got some ridiculous deal. Look at even the tubing of the top tube. That is, so, yeah. And then that skinny steel fork just looks so weird on that bike. Like he said, he wants to call his local bike shop and ask where he could get a frame bag for his soft ride. Oh, this is what Dylan's comment meant. This totally makes sense now. Sorry. Show soft ride to someone who disagrees that a round tube metal triangle frame is timeless. Yeah. Dylan, you're out. Good night, man. Patrick. He says, "Well, I get back from walking the dog and we're looking at pedal powered crotch rockets." Oh, let's see. Pudgy dropped the picture. So, oh, let's see. Oh, we got the. Well, let's backtrack for a second. So, Jetsmon dropped the photo of the recumbent. The cat trike. Is that how that you say that? And then Dylan said this is what he rode across Ohio. Oh wow, look at this thing. That's a piece of work. Look at that frame. That thing is crazy. It's weird because it looks so like so utilitarian in one way, and then so like advanced in the other. That steering is just straight down to the wheel. Wow. It kind of reminds me of the bikes we were just looking at. It's like gross and cool at the same time. Oh, these are Pudgy's wheels that he's talking about. I would totally rock those on one of my vintage steel bikes. That'd be so badass. I love the out there look of that. Like putting those on my Schwinn, like my pink, Schwinn with the Durace. That would look so awesome on that bike. Oh, also with Patty just getting back, I did like this shirt photo he threw up earlier. This is so cool. It's kind of like in the, well, it's not kind of, it's totally in the Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bullocks LP cover. Eat donuts, ride bikes, listen to punk rock. I haven't clicked through that link yet to see what else that company has. And that's Ben's shirt. They must be the same company, which is awesome too. Obsolescence. How do you chew those three spokes? When Pudgy's instant reply is you don't. Yeah. Malk says reminds him of the tandem on Beer Fest. I don't remember the tandem on Beer Fest. I wonder if I could Google that. Nothing good is coming up. Well, I mean, except for this. So. Oh, that's it. That is it. That is the Beer Fest. Did they get that from the Hard Day's Night by the Beatles? Let me find where. Yeah. Patrick said he got some cool socks and matching ceramic cup from those guys too. Yeah, let's check that out. I like the super tuck shirt. That's pretty cool. Belgian the F up. Yeah, that's huh. Nice. Yeah. I like that coffee mug. I would totally rock that. Death Before Shuttle. Yeah. Super Tuck T-shirt now banned by UCI. Yeah, the Goat Head shirt was great. Swing bike while we're on weird bikes. Yeah. Are these the swing bikes? Oh, here. Oh, wow. Look at that mess. You Ohio people don't know the pain of goat heads. Yeah. I know we were talking about this with the clunker style coming back in a little bit. Um, wow, that is ugly. I just do not like the curvy tubes. We've looked at a number of them, and they're just not for me. Oh, look at this. Oh, the rear wheel has a turning axle. Huh. Oh, there we go. Pull up a video, swing bikes. Uh, yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, I've never seen those. I don't have to lock one of those up. Brodford said they're like being drunk before you're drunk. Oh, that is the Burn Peak one we were watching the video of. That's the first thing that comes up. JD said, please stop, his eyes hurt. That would be totally, I would love to try that out. Is that a good bike for Rick? Yeah. All right, dude. It's 11. Is it 11 o'clock? I am, as you can see, oh, maybe you can't. I'm just really tired, so I'm gonna hit the hay for tonight. I do want to bring up for any members, I'm gonna start scheduling doing more interviews to make this more fun. It was fun to have Large and Molnar here in person on Tuesday. Anyone local who feels like they want to come out and ride, Lanky, Dandy, and do a live stream here in person, we can, but also doing the remote ones. Channel member Drift King, it's scheduled. That's when we're going to start doing it again, will be the 22nd. And then I'm going to start to fill in more and more of those spots to do more of just to get to more perspective, so it's not just me rambling. Tonight went pretty well with just no plan. But yeah, so that's one thing I want to get back into now that I'm set up here. Like, my big vacation for the year is over. Like I said, got all the new videos up and all that kind of stuff. So kind of, to keep these streams more and more interesting, I think getting back into doing the guests is something we should do. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to hit like I said, I'm just tired, going to go to bed. So yeah, I will see everyone on Tuesday. Hopefully Monday, my goal is to have up the Ohio to Erie video. I'm going to make a number of videos out of that trip, but some that are talkies, I think, as the kids call them, but one just musical, one like I like to do with just a ride vid. So yeah, I will see you guys on Tuesday for the stream, though.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.
Traveling through Super Chat at $25. Ride that bike.